All right, so today's video is about predicting narcissist behavior. And can you predict a narcissist behavior? And the answer is yes. And so my wife and I are doing it right now to navigate what a gathering my narcissistic mother wants to have, and also 4th of July. So in order to do this, you really have to understand the state the narcissist is in and what they want, and then understand your role in their delusional world, and then be aware and observant of one of the main narcissist weaknesses. And so I'll explain this, but let me explain my situation a little more clearly, because I haven't in the past. So, so this predicting the narcissist behavior, this pertains to if a narcissist is in your life. And, ideally, if you're no contact, congratulations. But if you live with a narcissist, or there's, a relative or whatever, a friend, they're in your life. In my case, it's my mother, and we live on my parents' property. And so my situation is this. My parents bought a piece of property with acreage that had a main house and a cottage on it. And this is before I knew anything about narcissism. And I had no idea what was going on. And they asked myself, my wife, and our young daughter to move to the property and live on the property with them and help them take care of the property. The place was run down and needed a lot of work. It had a second, it was like a studio. It wasn't a home. And so I put in a good amount of capital and remodeled the cottage, turned it into a guest house. And it was just a bathroom with a room before, but I added a kitchen. I made it a 2-bedroom, redid everything. And now it's a nice little cottage, and we really, really like living there. And the plan was for my family to move there and then provide support, get the cottage up and running, live there for a few years, and then hand the whole situation off to them so that they had this rental income. So they could either charge someone, an exorbitant amount of rent, which rent is now, and then earn income that way in their retirement, or a nurse could live there in their old age. So they could stay on their property and for as long as they could. And so that was the plan. And then also the property has several acres, and it was like a car hoarder situation. So it's just a mess, but it's really nice farmland, and they have water rights, and it's really nice. So I've put a ton of time into fixing up the property and, landscaping. I put a pond in, a ton of work to the ground. So anyway, I'm like $100K deep into this whole situation, but it's not about the money. Who cares? I was approaching it from, this is going to be great. We'll all be together. The parents will help raise the grandchildren. It'll be amazing. Anyway, so that wasn't the case. That's not the case. And what's unique is several years back, before all this, I went no contact, kind of accidentally. A friend of mine mentioned it. He went no contact with his crazy mom, and he has cut her off ever since. I didn't think I had the free will and the power to do that, but he strongly encouraged me, and I did it. And during that year of no contact is when I quit drugs and alcohol and got over being severely depressed and anxiety, all that crap. And so when I'm moving into the situation closer to my parents, I'm fully clear in my mind. And so now I'm close to them, and the behavior is weird and mean, and it's just bad behavior. I'm not coping with that by drinking and smoking weed and, just being depressed. So it's odd. The behavior is odd, and you're like, why is this person so mean? And why so mean to my family? And why would she be so mean to her granddaughter? And so it was puzzling, and it just took my wife saying, maybe she's a narcissist. I read this article. We didn't know anything about it. And then that just opened up the floodgates to all these personality disorders and understanding what this narcissism thing is. And now, and when I learned that, I was empathetic to her. I was, I wasn't broken free. And I went to her and was like, hey, let's solve this. Let's sit, have a conversation. Let's reason this out, because normal people can reason and talk and apologize and move through things. You can't do that with these kinds of people. So that blew up in my face. And so we've just been at this stalemate. And we're choosing to stay because, number one, we're in this great school district with our kids, and we really can't afford a rental or to buy a home in the area. The average home prices for the general area is $450,000. The average home prices for the school district that we're in is like $700,000, and rentals are $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So we're like in this position where my business just doesn't earn enough, and we're still paying rent where we live now, and I'm still contributing resources. So, we're paying rent, but it's what we can afford, and so we're just like buying our time. But so what we've done is our strategy has been this gray zone, and I'm sure you're familiar with the gray zone, and it's a way that you can just protect yourself so you're not so attached to what the narcissist does. You limit contact. We don't talk anymore. All communication is done through my dad, her like lapdog flying monkey, I guess you could say now. And I can only see her and hear her, and she definitely exploits those opportunities. But back to predicting the behavior. So, this narcissist she's aging out, and a lot of her friends have gone. She doesn't have a lot of supply. And so her main thing is getting supply. And she really does that by stirring up drama and causing conflict and isolating people and triangulating family members against one another. So that's the situation we're at. I have a younger brother. He is fully with her. And she doles out resources to him that keeps him on the hook. And then my dad is like 90% her, like 10, maybe 5% with us. So she's triangulated all those people, and like, whatever, if they're against me, it's okay. We're fine if that's their choice. But what's interesting is I've been living with them. We've been in this situation for a couple of years now. And this is the narcissist's weakness, is its patterns. They are so pattern oriented, and they replay the same playbook, because when you're under the spell, you're not aware of, they're just running the same game on you over and over and over again, and you can't see it. But you break free, you get the bird's eye view, and now you see it's like, oh, all they're doing it's just running the same thing over and over again. So that's one of their big weaknesses, is they're just redoing the same old shit. And once you see that, that's how you know how to predict it. And what's the current situation we're in? So we've got 4th of July coming up, which is always like super cringe fest with my mom, my dad, and my brother, just talking about politics and drama and money. And it's just like not fun, and whatever. We'd rather do something else. Anyway, but there's a very unique situation that's occurring, and it's my mom has organized this thing where she has several of her old friends from like the years she reminisced when she was a 20-something, and she's like a party hippie chick, and they all lived on this commune, and life was great, and it was before kids and the whole thing. So these women who are very similar to her, which I don't really know all that well. I know them, throughout my life, but they're all coming to the property. They're going to have a big party. And so what's really interesting is my parents never invite us formally to anything. They never say, would you guys like to come to this? Would you do this? Would you like to come to this gathering? There's never any invitation. It's just like we're just expected to show up and sit there and just take the strange abuse and then leave. And what's interesting, so she sends a note over about it's a party, and it's going to be a potluck, and all her amazing friends are coming. And so she knows we don't want to be there. And she's kind of set this thing up where if we, I mean, it's smart, but it's an old play. I've seen it my whole life. So this is the play. So she set it up to where we were obligated to attend both 4th of July and this stupid party. And what she wants is us to attend both events. And then she wants to use the children, the grandchildren, and my wife and I to receive praise and admiration from her friends. Because she loves to be praised. In any opportunity for her to receive praise, she'll take it. So she wants to use us as pawns to receive all this praise from her friends, because my wife and I are super friendly. The kids are great, well-behaved, beautiful children, amazing to be around, and we're fun to be around. We like to have good conversations. We're positive. We're healthy people. We are pleasant people to be around. So, of course, her friends are going to, they're so pleasant and so nice. And we're living there, but they're not supporting us. I'm supporting them. Like that's the situation. I'm contributing to help them to have a good retirement. So, of course, she's going to receive the praise from her friends. And so she wants all that energy, and it's like this big thing for her. And I can tell she's all geared up about it. She's been out on the property, like singing and chanting and whistling and doing her bizarre things that she does. So anyway, so that's what she wants. But she set it up to where if we completely just say F you and block her, because she knows that's what we want. We don't want anything to do with her. It's going to cause so much drama that in turn she's going to get all this supply from the dramatic situation that is going to occur and then it's just going to be a hate fest on us. And then she's going to be the victim. Then she can play the victim role, how terrible we are, and it's so terrible for you, and how awful I am and how awful my wife is, and how terrible it is. And so she'll just switch from being praised to just being the victim, and she'll get even more energy and more attention and more supply, because ultimately she just really wants that supply, and she'll do anything to get it. So she set the trap. She forced us in to we got to make a choice. And if we show up to the thing, we're just going to have to sit there and take it and then go home feeling depressed and defeated. And the kids, they'll probably feel the same. But my wife and I, the last couple of days, we reasoned it out and we figured out, okay, we've predicted the behavior. The trap has been set. And so we came up with a contingency plan that I don't think she can really, I don't think there's anything she can do. I think we've predicted the behavior enough, and we understand the situation that we've been able to extract ourselves and really give her very little supply. But we had to sacrifice a little bit. So she has a friend coming from out of state who's never met my family, and so that friend is wanting to meet the kids and my wife and the whole thing. I've known her my whole life. And I think she's okay. I don't know. Honestly, she's probably crazy too. They came from the same scene. But so what we're going to do is this is happening. It's like it's a week-long deal, this big gathering with the friends, and then 4th of July. So what my wife and I did, we just pulled the ripcord and we're going to the coast. So we booked a hotel, and we're going to the coast, and we're going to miss the gathering and 4th of July. But we're going to meet the friend. We're going to let the friend come over and meet the kids and my wife and give her that. So she'll get a little bit of admiration from the friend. But for us, I'm sure she's poisoned us to the friend, and this person can make up their own mind about how they feel about us. So they might kind of hate on us a little bit. It might be kind of weird, but we're willing to take that. And then after we meet her friend and whatever, we're out. We're just hitting the car. We're getting the car. We're hitting the road. We're going to the coast. And we're playing it where, we won a free stay at the coast for some contest or something. And we're so excited. And, because we actually have made a point to go to the coast around 4th of July to get away from them. And we've done it every year, and we're going to do it again. And so, how can you argue with that? Like, oh, they want a free thing. And so we're having to like do this big story, and we're giving a little bit to the friend, and the narc will get a little bit of supply and admiration from that. But ultimately, we're just going to leave them to their own scene and peace out and have a great week. And so, this goes to show that when the spell gets lifted, you start to study, you start to understand, you observe, because a lot of this has just been observing this person and their crazy ups and downs. And then what you see is the pattern emerges. And then when you understand the position they're in and their techniques and their tactics, you see the pattern emerge. You can then go advanced gray rock ninja and start really seeing ahead. Like, I already know the future for this person. I mean, to a degree, obviously things could go south, but I think as long as I'm supporting financially and providing resources, and I'm still like a physical presence and there's no interactions, I think what's going to happen is she's just going to retreat inward as she gets older. And obviously she won't have so much energy and stamina to like be throwing so much negative energy towards everyone else. And so that's kind of my prediction for the future. But when you understand your own position and then the role that you play, because now the latest deal is she's really going after my wife. She has, she's really started to target my wife, because my wife was the one who initially, told me about this narcissism thing. But really, everything changed in the relationship and the dynamic between my mother and I when my wife came into the picture. Because my wife is literally, she's an angel from heaven. And her family is the complete opposite of my family. They are so supportive and loving, and I'm like the son they've never had. And so it's like night and day with them. And actually, we're going to stay with her family in like a couple weeks. So I'm really excited to be making videos when I'm not getting the psychic bombardment, because we're literally going across the entire country to go stay with her family. So I'm really looking forward to that. But anyway, it is possible to predict their behavior, because at the end of the day, they've been running the same game for years and years and years. And really, they're not that smart. They just go with what they know works. And they're under the impression that you're still under their spell. So if you're in this situation, take a step back and be super observant and find the pattern. That's the key here. That's their big weaknesses. The big weakness of these people is they're just running the same game. And then your play, and really think about, what do these people want from you, and what do they want in general? Because that's really what drives so many people are these desires and these wants and these needs. And so consider that. And yeah, you can go advanced gray rock ninja and really get ahead of this. So try it. Tell me what you think. And, as always, I appreciate you watching.